Welcome to the Artificial Fluency Podcast, where we delve into fascinating concepts while elevating your English proficiency. I'm Emma, and today we're exploring the psychological labyrinth known as the paradox of choice. In a world saturated with options, could the abundance of choices actually be undermining our happiness? Let's unravel this contemporary conundrum together. Have you ever stood paralyzed in the supermarket aisle, confronted by 47 varieties of breakfast cereal? Or perhaps you've spent an inordinate amount of time scrolling through streaming platforms, unable to commit to a film despite hundreds of options at your fingertips. If so, you've experienced what psychologist Barry Schwartz famously termed the paradox of choice. The counterintuitive notion that an abundance of options often leads not to liberation and satisfaction, but rather to decision paralysis and diminished contentment. This phenomenon permeates virtually every aspect of modern existence, from the trivial to the profound, from selecting a smartphone among countless models to navigating the labyrinthine landscape of career paths in our increasingly fluid professional ecosystem. Today we'll dissect this paradox, examining its psychological underpinnings, its manifestations in contemporary society, and potential strategies for mitigating its insidious effects. Let's begin by exploring some sophisticated vocabulary related to choice and decision-making. These terms will not only enrich your linguistic repertoire but also provide conceptual frameworks for understanding the nuances of this paradox. Cognitive overhead refers to the mental effort required to process information and make decisions. Each additional option increases this overhead, potentially leading to mental fatigue. Opportunity cost describes what you sacrifice when making a choice, essentially, the value of the roads not taken. Counterfactual thinking involves imagining alternative scenarios that might have unfolded had you made different choices, the mental gymnastics of what if. Analysis paralysis occurs when overthinking a decision leads to decision-making impairment or complete decisional standstill. Maximizing versus satisficing represents two decisional strategies exhaustively seeking the absolute best option versus settling for the first acceptable option encountered. Now let's delve into the psychological mechanisms underlying this paradox. Barry Schwartz's groundbreaking research illuminates several factors that transform abundant choice from blessing to burden. First, there's the tyranny of elevated expectations. When options proliferate, we anticipate greater satisfaction from our eventual selection. After all, with so many possibilities, surely one must be perfect. This expectation, however reasonable it may seem, invariably sets the stage for disappointment. Second, we encounter the phenomena of regret amplification. More options create more opportunities for counterfactual thinking, the mental simulation of roads not taken. The specter of these unlived alternatives haunts us, fostering the suspicion that a superior choice lurked somewhere in the discarded options. Third, there's the escalation of responsibility. When options were scarce, suboptimal outcomes could be attributed to limited choices. Now, with virtually unlimited options, the burden of a disappointing result falls squarely on our shoulders. We should have chosen better. Finally, we face the cumulative cognitive tax of decision-making. Each choice depletes our finite reserve of mental energy, a phenomenon psychologists call decision fatigue. By day's end, our cognitive resources have been so thoroughly depleted that we become susceptible to impulsive decisions or decision avoidance altogether. This paradox manifests in particularly fascinating ways in our digital ecosystem. Consider the modern phenomenon of content paralysis, that peculiar state where, despite having immediate access to virtually all of humanity's creative output, we find ourselves unable to select a film, book, or album. A 2019 study found that the average American spends approximately 23 minutes daily deciding what to watch on streaming platforms. That's nearly 6 days, annually spent not on consumption but merely on selection. The cognitive overhead of navigating these vast digital libraries essentially creates a new form of scarcity, not of content, but of the attention and decisional energy required to access it. Social media platforms similarly exploit the paradox of choice through infinite scrolling mechanisms. The endless procession of potentially interesting content triggers what psychologists call the variable reward pattern, the same mechanism that powers gambling addiction. Each scroll promises the possibility of something marginally more engaging than what came before, creating a perpetual state of mild dissatisfaction with the current content, while tantalizing us with the prospect of something better just a scroll away. Let's examine a particularly illuminating experiment conducted at Columbia University that crystallizes this paradox. Researchers set up 2 displays of gourmet jam in a high-end supermarket. One display featured 6 varieties, while the other offered 24. The larger display attracted more initial attention. Shoppers were drawn to the abundance of options. However, a remarkable pattern emerged at the point of purchase. 30% of customers who encountered the smaller display ultimately purchased jam, compared to a mere 3% of those who faced the 24 options. This tenfold difference in conversion rates vividly illustrates how excessive choice can impede rather than facilitate action. The cognitive overhead of comparing 24 varieties, weighing their relative merits, anticipating potential regret, and shouldering the responsibility of selection, created such friction that most shoppers opted to make no choice at all. The paradox extends beyond consumer behavior into the realm of life satisfaction and psychological well-being. Research has consistently demonstrated a correlation between maximizing tendencies, the compulsion to exhaustively evaluate all options in pursuit of the optimal choice, and diminished happiness. Maximizers, despite often achieving objectively better outcomes, typically report less satisfaction with their decisions than satisficers, who accept the first adequate option they encounter. The maximizer's pursuit of the ideal option comes at a significant psychological cost, heightened anxiety during the decision process, lingering doubt afterward, and increased vulnerability to regret. This phenomenon has profound implications for contemporary life satisfaction. As societal affluence increases, so too does the proliferation of choices across virtually all domains. Yet paradoxically, this expansion of freedom and opportunity may contribute to the epidemic of anxiety and dissatisfaction that characterizes much of modern existence. Now let's pivot to strategies for navigating this paradoxical landscape. How might we maintain the benefits of choice while mitigating its psychological costs? First, consider adopting what psychologists call satisficing thresholds, predetermined criteria that, when met, signal that an option is good enough to warrant selection without further search. This pre-commitment to reasonable standards helps circumvent the maximizer's trap of endless comparison. Second, practice intentional limitation. Curate your own choice environment by deliberately constraining certain decision domains. Consider capsule wardrobes, meal planning, or scheduled media consumption, all strategies that reduce daily decisional burden. Third, implement the 10th of October 10 rule for significant decisions. How will you feel about this choice 10 minutes from now? 10 months from now? 10 years from now? This temporal framework helps calibrate the appropriate investment of decisional resources relative to a choice's long-term significance. Finally, consider decision outsourcing where appropriate. Subscription services, trusted recommenders, or even algorithmic suggestions can effectively reduce choice overhead in non-critical domains, preserving cognitive resources for more consequential decisions. As we approach the conclusion of today's exploration, let's reflect on the broader philosophical implications of the paradox of choice. There's a profound irony in the fact that the expansion of freedom, surely one of humanity's noblest aspirations, can inadvertently undermine the very well-being it aims to enhance. This paradox invites us to reconsider our cultural equation of maximum choice with maximum welfare. Perhaps true freedom lies not in unlimited options but in the cultivation of discernment, the wisdom to know which choices merit our attention and which are better simplified or delegated. In his seminal work on this topic, Barry Schwartz offers this poignant observation: the expansion of freedom can actually mean the contraction of happiness. This counterintuitive insight challenges us to develop a more nuanced relationship with choice, to embrace abundance where it enriches our lives, while establishing protective boundaries where it threatens to overwhelm. Don't forget to press the like button if you enjoy this episode. For new listeners, we upload videos every day to help you improve your English step by step. Let me start by asking you a few questions. Have you ever thought about why learning a new language is important? How do you think it can affect your career or personal life? What challenges do you face when learning a language? Keep these questions in mind as we explore this topic. I want to tell you about my friend David. He started learning English when he was 25. At first, he found it very difficult to understand native speakers and to speak confidently. But David kept practicing every day. He listened to podcasts, watched English news, and read simple books. After 1 year, he got a new job at an international company. Learning English opened many doors for him. This story shows that with effort and patience, learning a language can bring great opportunities. Another example is Sarah. She learned French because her husband is from France. At first, she wanted to communicate better with his family, but soon she realized that learning French helped her think differently and understand a new culture. Sarah also said that speaking a new language made her more confident and curious about the world. This shows that language learning is not only about words, but also about connecting with people and ideas. Here is a short story from me. When I was younger, I traveled to Germany. I knew only a little German, but I tried to speak as much as possible. I made mistakes, but locals appreciated my effort. I learned that learning a language is about courage and practice, not about being perfect. This experience motivated me to keep improving my English and encouraged me to help others do the same. Think about this. Learning a new language helps you in many ways. It improves your brain, makes you better at solving problems, and helps you meet new people. It can also improve your job chances and give you more confidence in daily life. What language do you want to learn next? How will it change your future? Before we continue, remember to press the like button if you find this episode helpful. Your support helps us make more content for you every day. Now, let's listen to a story from my colleague Mark. Mark started learning Spanish because his company has many clients in Latin America. At first, he felt nervous about speaking in meetings. But after some months, Mark noticed that he was building stronger relationships with his clients. Speaking their language helped him understand their needs better and show respect. Mark's story proves that learning a language can improve your career and create trust. Another inspiring story is from Lena. Lena is a teacher who learned English to read scientific books and attend international conferences. She said learning English helped her grow professionally and made her feel part of a global community. Lena encourages everyone to keep learning because every language opens a new door. Learning a new language is a journey. It takes time, practice, and patience. But the rewards are worth it. Try to use English every day. Listen to real conversations, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. What is one thing you learned today about language learning? How will you use it in your life? Share your thoughts with us in the comments or on our community page. Let me share another story about my friend James. James decided to learn German because his company sent him to work in Berlin for 6 months. At first, he only knew a few words, but he practiced every day by speaking with his coworkers and using language apps. After a few weeks, James could join meetings and make small talks with people. This made his work easier and more enjoyable. James said learning the language helped him feel more confident and comfortable in a new country. Then there is Emily, who learned English to help her children with their schoolwork. She started with simple words and sentences and slowly improved. By listening to English podcasts and reading children's books, Emily found that learning English also gave her a chance to meet new friends and be part of her community. She told me that learning a language is like opening a window to a bigger world. Here's a question for you. What is your biggest challenge when learning a new language? Is it grammar, vocabulary, speaking, or listening? Think about this while we continue. I want to talk about how learning a new language can change your thinking. When you learn another language, you learn how people from different places express ideas. For example, some languages have many words for family members or different ways to show respect. This helps you understand different cultures better and become more open-minded. My neighbor Michael experienced this when he learned Japanese. He said Japanese has many polite ways to speak depending on the situation. Learning this made him more patient and respectful in his daily life. Michael believes that language learning can make you a better person. Also, when you learn a language, your brain works harder. It helps improve memory and problem-solving skills. Studies show that people who speak more than one language can focus better and multitask easier. So, learning a language is good for your brain, not just for communication. I have a small tip for you. Try to practice listening every day. Listen to news, podcasts, or simple stories in English. When you hear new words, write them down and try to use them in your own sentences. This helps you remember and use the language better. Let's hear about Tom, who learned English to travel more easily. Tom said that knowing English helped him meet new people from around the world and feel safe while traveling. He could ask for directions, order food, and understand signs. Learning English made his trips more fun and less stressful. Do you have a language you want to learn or improve? Think about why it is important to you. This reason will help you stay motivated. Another story is about Anna. She learned Spanish because she wanted to understand her husband's family better. At first, Anna struggled with pronunciation and grammar, but she practiced with her husband and watched simple videos. Now, she can have short conversations and enjoy family gatherings. Anna says that learning Spanish brought her closer to her husband's culture and made her feel happier. Remember, learning a new language is not only about grammar or vocabulary. It is about connecting with people, understanding different ways of thinking, and growing as a person. What new word or phrase will you try to learn today? Write it down and say it out loud. Now, let's take a deeper look at why learning a new language is so important, using some real examples that show how it can change your life in many ways. I want to tell you more about my friend Daniel. Daniel works in an international company where people speak many different languages. He decided to learn French because several of his co-workers are from France and Canada. At first, Daniel felt nervous and worried that he would make mistakes, but he made a plan. Every morning, he spent 20 minutes listening to French podcasts. He also used language apps to practice new words and phrases. On weekends, he tried to speak with French speakers online. It was hard at first, but he didn't give up. After 6 months, Daniel's French improved a lot. He could understand simple conversations, and he started talking with his coworkers in French during lunch breaks. This made a big difference. Daniel noticed that his coworkers appreciated his effort, and he felt more connected to the team. Learning French helped him get a promotion because his company works with clients in French-speaking countries. This story shows that learning a language can open new doors at work and help you build better relationships. Here's another story about Lisa, who learned English as a second language. Lisa grew up in a small town and dreamed of working in a big city. She knew that English was important for her future. At school, she studied English grammar and vocabulary, but she still found it difficult to understand native speakers when they talked fast. To improve, Lisa started listening to English radio every day during her commute. She also read easy English books and watched videos with subtitles. After some months, Lisa's listening and speaking skills became much better. Lisa told me that learning English gave her confidence to speak with new people and helped her find a better job. She said that even though it was challenging, the progress she made motivated her to keep learning. Lisa's experience reminds us that practice is key, and using English in daily life makes a big difference. Now think about this. Learning a new language is not just about words. It helps you understand how other people think and live. For example, my friend Robert learned Italian because he loves Italian food and culture. When he started learning Italian, he discovered that many Italian expressions are very different from English. Some words describe feelings or ideas that do not exist in English. This made Robert curious and interested in Italian traditions, history, and lifestyle. Robert also said that learning Italian made him more patient and open-minded. He had to slow down and think carefully about how to say things. This helped him become a better listener and communicator, not only in Italian but in English too. So, language learning can improve your thinking skills and your ability to understand others. Let me share a story about my colleague Sarah. Sarah learned Spanish because her husband's family speaks Spanish at home. When they first married, Sarah could not understand everything during family dinners. She wanted to be part of the conversation and to feel closer to her husband's family. Sarah started taking Spanish classes and practiced with her husband every day. At home, she listened to simple Spanish podcasts and read children's stories in Spanish. After a year, Sarah could join family talks and even tell jokes in Spanish. She said that learning the language helped her feel included and happy. Sarah also noticed that learning Spanish made her more confident in other parts of her life. She was proud of her progress and felt ready to learn new skills. This story shows how learning a language can bring people together and build stronger relationships. Another important benefit of learning a new language is how it helps your brain. Research shows that people who speak more than one language have better memory and problem-solving skills. When you learn new words, grammar, and sounds, your brain works hard. It creates new connections and helps you think faster and more clearly. Take my friend John, for example. John learned German as an adult. He told me that learning German helped him concentrate better and remember things more easily. He also felt less stressed when he faced problems at work because his brain was more flexible. John said that learning a language was like exercise for his mind. This is an important reason to keep practicing, even when it feels difficult. Now, think about how learning a new language can help you travel. My friend Emma loves to travel, and she learned English to visit many countries. Emma said that knowing English helped her talk to people in hotels, restaurants, and stores. She could ask for help when needed and understand signs and instructions. Emma felt safer and more independent because she could communicate in English. This made her trips more enjoyable and less stressful. Emma also shared that speaking English allowed her to meet people from different countries and learn about their cultures. She said that language connects people and creates friendships. So, if you want to travel or meet new friends, learning a language is a great choice. Before I continue, think about your own goals. Why do you want to learn a new language? Do you want to get a better job, travel, make new friends, or understand other cultures? Your reason will help you stay motivated when learning feels hard. Now, let me tell you about Mark, who learned Portuguese because his company works with clients in Brazil. Mark was nervous about speaking Portuguese at first. He worried about making mistakes in meetings. But he started practicing every day. He listened to podcasts and watched videos for beginners. He also used a notebook to write new words and phrases. After a few months, Mark could speak better and understand more. His clients appreciated that he tried to speak their language, and this helped Mark build trust. He said learning Portuguese gave him a sense of achievement and helped his career. Mark's story shows that learning a language improves communication and builds respect. One last story for now is about Anna. Anna learned English to study at a university in the United States. She said that at first, it was very difficult to understand lectures and make friends. But she practiced listening to English every day, joined study groups, and spoke with classmates. Over time, Anna's English improved, and she felt more confident. She said that learning English changed her life and helped her reach her dreams. All these stories have something in common. They show that learning a new language is a journey. It takes time, effort, and patience, but the rewards are great. You can open new doors in your career, connect with people, travel safely, and improve your brain. The most important thing is to keep practicing and not be afraid of mistakes. Try to use English every day. Listen to podcasts, read simple books, and speak with others. Write down new words and practice sentences. When you listen to real stories, like those I shared today, you learn how language works in everyday life. Now, think about this question. What is one new thing you want to try in your language learning this week? Maybe it is listening to a podcast, talking with a friend, or writing a short paragraph. Taking small steps every day will help you improve. Remember, language learning is a way to connect with the world. It helps you grow as a person and opens up many opportunities. Let's continue exploring why learning a new language is so valuable, with more stories and ideas that can help you understand its importance deeply. One thing to know is that learning a language is not only about words or grammar, it is about opening your mind to a new way of thinking and seeing the world. When you learn a new language, you also learn about the people who speak it, their culture, their values, and their traditions. This helps you become more understanding and respectful of others. For example, my friend Henry decided to learn Mandarin Chinese because he is interested in China's culture and business. At first, Henry found it very difficult. The sounds were very different from English, and the writing system was like nothing he had seen before. But Henry did not give up. He started with small goals, like learning a few new words each day. He used flashcards and practiced speaking with a language partner online. After a few months, Henry could hold short conversations and understand simple texts. What surprised him most was how learning Chinese changed his view of the world. He learned about Chinese holidays, food, and ways of greeting people. This helped Henry build friendships with Chinese colleagues and made him more confident in international meetings. Henry told me that learning Mandarin helped him grow as a person. He became more patient and open to new ideas. This story shows how language learning is a journey not only of the mind, but also of the heart. Now, think about your own experiences. Have you ever met someone from a different country? Did you try to speak their language? Even a few words can make a big difference. It shows respect and interest, and it can create a warm connection. Let me share a story about my neighbor, Claire. Claire learned French because she wanted to travel to France and visit her husband's family. Before her trip, Claire took French classes and listened to French radio. She practiced every day by reading simple books and repeating phrases out loud. When she arrived in France, Claire was nervous at first, but she used the French she learned to greet people, order food, and ask for directions. She found that even small conversations made her trip more enjoyable. People appreciated her effort, and she made new friends. Claire told me that learning French gave her a new confidence. She felt proud of herself for trying something new and stepping out of her comfort zone. Her story reminds us that learning a language helps us face new challenges and enjoy new experiences. Here is another important idea. Learning a new language can improve your skills in your first language. When you study grammar and vocabulary in a new language, you start to understand how language works in general. This helps you speak and write better in your own language. My friend David is an English teacher. He learned Spanish as an adult, and he said that studying Spanish helped him understand English grammar more clearly. David noticed that his vocabulary grew and that he could explain grammar rules better to his students. Learning a second language made David a better teacher and a better communicator. Let's talk about learning styles. Everyone learns differently, and you should find the way that works best for you. Some people learn best by listening, others by reading or writing. Some enjoy speaking with others, while others prefer to study alone. My friend Rachel learned English by joining a conversation club. She said that speaking with others helped her practice and learn new phrases. Rachel also listened to English podcasts and watched videos with subtitles. She wrote down new words and used them in sentences. Rachel's advice is to mix different activities to keep learning fun. Listen to stories, talk with friends, read books, and write short texts. The more you use the language, the faster you improve. Now, let me tell you about Andrew. Andrew learned German because his company had many German clients. He had little free time, so he used short lessons on his phone during breaks. He practiced vocabulary with flashcards and listened to German news while cooking. Andrew said that even small daily efforts add up. He improved slowly but steadily. After a year, Andrew could understand most conversations and speak with confidence. His clients appreciated his effort, and Andrew felt proud of his achievement. This shows that learning a language does not require many hours at once. Consistent practice, even for a few minutes each day, is very effective. Another important benefit of learning a new language is meeting new people. When you speak another language, you can make friends from different countries. This helps you learn about their lives and cultures directly, not just from books or videos. My friend Sophie learned Italian because she loves Italian culture. She joined a local language group where people meet every week to practice speaking Italian. Sophie said that through the group she met many kind people and made good friends. They even planned trips together to Italy. Sophie said learning Italian changed her life. It gave her a new social circle and a deeper appreciation for culture and friendship. This story shows that language learning is a wonderful way to connect with others. Think about your own goals and interests. Is there a language that connects you to your family, work, or travel plans? Do you want to understand books, news, or songs in another language? Your personal reasons will help you stay motivated. Now, I want to share a simple but powerful tip. Use a notebook or an app to write down new words and phrases every day. Then, try to use them in sentences or conversations. Writing helps you remember and understand better. My friend Kevin learned Spanish by writing a daily diary in Spanish. At first, he wrote very simple sentences, but he improved quickly. Writing helped Kevin practice grammar and vocabulary in a meaningful way. Kevin also said that reading his diary later showed him how much he had learned. This was very encouraging and helped him keep going. Finally, remember that learning a language takes time and patience. It is normal to make mistakes. The most important thing is to keep trying and enjoy the process. Think about what you learned today. Which story inspired you the most? What new step will you take in your language learning journey? Keep your goals clear and take small actions every day. Let's dive deeper into how learning a new language can impact many parts of your life. Not just speaking or listening, but thinking, understanding, and even feeling. One amazing effect of learning a language is how it changes the way you think. When you learn new words and grammar, your brain starts to see the world differently. For example, some languages have many words for things that English only has one or two words for. This can help you notice details you didn't see before. My friend Emily learned Japanese a few years ago. She told me that in Japanese, there are many words for different types of rain. Because of this, Emily started to pay attention to the weather in a new way. She could describe the rain in more detail and even enjoy it more. This shows how language shapes the way we experience life. Another important idea is that learning a language helps you understand and respect other cultures. This is very useful in today's world, where people from many countries work and live together. When you know another language, you show respect for others by trying to speak their language. This can make communication easier and friendships stronger. Take my neighbor Paul. Paul learned Arabic because he works with people from the Middle East. At first, he was nervous because Arabic is very different from English, but he started by learning simple greetings and polite phrases. This effort helped Paul build trust with his colleagues. They appreciated his respect for their language and culture, and Paul said it made his work much easier and more enjoyable. Learning a language also opens new doors in your career. Many jobs today require communication with people from different countries. Knowing a second or third language can give you an advantage when applying for a job or asking for a promotion. My friend Laura is a marketing manager. She learned French because her company wanted to expand into France. Thanks to her language skills, Laura was able to talk directly with French clients and understand their needs better. This helped her company grow, and Laura received praise from her boss. She said learning French was one of the best decisions she made for her career. It is important to know that learning a language improves your memory and brain skills. When you study vocabulary, grammar rules, and pronunciation, You train your brain to work in new ways. Research shows that people who speak more than one language have better memory and problem-solving skills. My Uncle Tom started learning Italian after he retired. At first, it was a challenge to remember new words, but after practicing every day, his memory improved. He also found that learning Italian helped him stay mentally active and healthy. This is an example of how language learning can support your brain, no matter your age. Let's talk about how language learning can change your travel experiences. When you speak the local language, even a little, travel becomes easier and more fun. You can ask for help, order food, and explore places without worry. My friend Anna traveled to Germany. She knew some basic German phrases, and this made a big difference. She could read signs, understand instructions, and talk with locals. Anna said she felt more confident and safe. Also, she met friendly people who shared their culture with her. This made her trip unforgettable. Sometimes, learning a language can lead to personal growth. It can teach you patience, discipline, and courage. Learning a language takes time and effort, and it can be frustrating at times. But pushing through those challenges builds character. My friend James learned Russian. He said that at the beginning, it was very difficult. The alphabet was different and the grammar was complex. But James kept studying every day. He used apps, listened to radio, and practiced speaking with friends. Over time, James noticed his progress. He felt proud and motivated to keep going. James's story shows us that language learning is not just about words. It is about building skills that help in many areas of life. The discipline to study every day, the patience to accept mistakes, and the courage to speak even when you are not perfect. These qualities are valuable in any challenge. Another benefit is that learning a language can connect you with your family. History. Many people find that studying a language helps them understand their roots and traditions. This is especially true for those whose parents or grandparents speak another language. My friend Sarah's grandparents spoke Polish, but she never learned it as a child. As an adult, Sarah decided to learn Polish to communicate better with her family. This helped her feel closer to her heritage. She could understand family stories and traditions that she had not known before. Learning the language became a way to honor her family and keep her culture alive. Let's also remember that language learning is a lifelong journey. Even native speakers continue learning new words and expressions. There is always something new to discover. My friend Michael speaks 3 languages fluently. He says he is still learning every day. He reads books, watches news, and talks with friends. This constant learning keeps Michael curious and engaged. So think about your own language learning path. What language do you want to learn? What small step can you take today? Maybe learning 5 new words, watching a short video, or talking with a friend. Remember that mistakes are normal and helpful. They show you where to improve. Don't be afraid to speak or write, even if you make errors. The more you practice, the better you become. Now, I want to share some tips that can help you keep learning every day. Find topics that interest you. If you love cooking, learn words and phrases about food. If you like sports, focus on sports. Vocabulary. This makes learning more fun. Use technology to your advantage. There are many apps, websites, and podcasts that can help you practice anytime, anywhere. Set realistic goals. Start with small, clear goals, like learning 10 new words a week or having a 5-minute conversation in your new language. Practice all skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. This balanced approach helps you improve faster. Join a language group or find a partner to practice with. Speaking with others is one of the best ways to improve. Be patient and kind to yourself. Language learning takes time, and every step forward is progress. Let me tell you about David. David learned French for 2 years. He studied hard but sometimes felt frustrated. Then, he decided to focus on enjoying the process. He listened to French songs and tried to sing along. He watched videos about French culture. He started writing a diary in French. This change made learning more enjoyable, and David's skills improved. He said that when you enjoy learning, you want to do it more often. This is a very important lesson for all of us. Let's continue talking about the importance of learning a new language and how it can change your life in many ways. I want to share more stories and examples to help you understand this better. First, let's think about how language learning helps in making new friends. When you learn another language, you open the door to meet people from different countries and backgrounds. This can be very exciting and rewarding. My friend Daniel started learning Spanish last year. At first, he only knew a few words, but then he joined a local Spanish-speaking club. There, he met people from Mexico, Spain, and other countries. Daniel said that even when he made mistakes, everyone was friendly and helped him improve. Over time, he built real friendships and learned more about their cultures. This made his life richer and more interesting. It is important to remember that speaking a new language is not only about words and grammar, it is about connection and understanding. When you speak someone's language, you show respect and interest in their life. This often creates a strong bond between people. Another story is about my colleague Mark. Mark learned German because his wife's family is from Germany. At family gatherings, Mark speaks German with his in-laws. This has helped him become part of the family more deeply. His wife said that Mark's effort to learn German means a lot to her family. It shows that he cares and wants to connect with them. Learning a language also helps you see your own language differently. When you compare two languages, you notice things you never saw before. For example, you might see how English uses different sentence structures than other languages. This can improve your English skills too. My friend Lucy learned Chinese and told me that learning a language with different grammar made her think more about how English sentences are made. She said this helped her write better emails and essays. So, learning a new language can improve your writing and thinking skills in your native language as well. Now, let's talk about how learning a language helps in solving problems and making decisions. When you learn another language, your brain practices switching between different ways of thinking. This can make you better at solving problems in daily life. For example, my friend Steve learned Italian. He said that switching between Italian and English made his brain more flexible. He noticed that he could focus better and find creative solutions faster at work. This is a great example of how language learning helps your mind. Also, learning a language teaches you patience and perseverance. It is not easy to learn new words, sounds, and rules. Sometimes it feels like progress is slow, but those who keep going develop strong habits and self-control. My friend Rachel learned Portuguese. She told me that the hardest part was the pronunciation, but she practiced every day, listening to audio and repeating words. After a few months, she noticed great improvement. Rachel said that the discipline she built while learning Portuguese helped her in other parts of life, like exercising regularly and managing her time. Another very useful thing about learning a new language is that it gives you confidence. When you can speak and understand another language, you feel proud and happy. This confidence can help in many areas like making presentations, traveling, or meeting new people. My friend Kevin learned Korean. At first, he was shy and afraid to speak, but after practicing and making mistakes, he became confident. Kevin said that learning Korean helped him speak up more in meetings at work. He felt stronger and ready to face new challenges. Learning languages also helps with understanding the world's history and traditions. Many languages carry stories and customs from long ago. By learning these languages, you can understand these stories better. My friend Sophie studied Arabic. She found that many Arabic words come from stories in history and religion. Learning the language helps Sophie understand important traditions in the Arab world. This gave her a deeper respect for that culture. Let's also remember that learning a language improves your listening skills. When you listen to native speakers, you learn different accents, sounds, and ways of speaking. This improves your ability to understand English too, because you train your ear to listen carefully. My friend Adam learned French. He started watching French news and podcasts. Over time, Adam's listening skills improved a lot. He said that listening to French helped him focus better when listening to English speakers with different accents. Now, I want to share some practical ways to improve your language learning every day. Set a daily routine. Even 10 minutes a day can make a big difference. Consistency is key. Practice speaking as much as possible. Talk to yourself, record your voice, or find a language partner. Use simple books or articles in the language you are learning. Reading helps you understand new words and context. Listen to podcasts or radio shows in the new language. This trains your ear and improves your vocabulary. Write short paragraphs or diary entries. Writing helps fix new words and grammar in your memory. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. Each mistake teaches you something new. Use flashcards or apps to learn vocabulary. Repetition helps you remember better. Try to think in the new language during the day. For example, name objects around you in that language, or describe your actions. Let me tell you about my friend Ben. Ben learned German while working in a hospital. He used the language every day with patients and doctors. Ben said that practicing, speaking, and listening on the job was very helpful. He also kept a notebook with new words and practiced them every night. This steady effort helped Ben become fluent faster. One last story I want to share is about my neighbor Lisa. Lisa learned Japanese for fun. She used language learning to meet new people and explore new hobbies like Japanese cooking and calligraphy. Lisa said that learning Japanese changed her life. It opened new doors to friendships, hobbies, and knowledge. Now, let's dive even deeper into why learning a new language is so important and how it can change your life in many ways. I will share more stories and practical ideas so you can feel inspired and motivated on your own language learning journey. 1. Big reason to learn a new language is that it helps you understand different cultures better. When you speak someone else's language, you start to see the world from their point of view. This can help you become more open-minded and respectful toward people who have different ways of living. For example, my friend James learned Japanese. He told me that learning the language helped him understand how important respect and politeness are in Japanese culture. This made James more patient and careful when he talks with others, not only in Japanese but also in English. Learning a language can change how you think and how you treat people. Another important benefit is that language learning improves your career opportunities. Many companies today want employees who can speak more than one language because businesses work with clients and partners around the world. If you speak another language, you have more chances to get a good job or promotion. My colleague Sarah learned French because her company has many clients in France and Canada. She said that after she started speaking French well, she got more responsibilities and a better salary. Sarah explained that knowing a second language helped her feel more confident during meetings and presentations. So, language skills are not just about communication but also about career growth. Learning a new language also helps your brain stay healthy. Scientists say that people who speak 2 or more languages often have better memory and focus. Learning new words and grammar exercises your brain, making it stronger and faster. My friend Michael, who speaks English and Spanish, told me he feels that learning languages helps him solve problems better and remember things more easily. He said that when he learns a new language, it feels like a fun workout for his brain. So, language learning is like exercise for your mind. Let me tell you a story about my friend Anna. Anna learned Arabic because she wanted to work in international development. At first, she struggled with the alphabet and sounds, but she kept practicing every day. Anna said that learning Arabic helped her understand many important news stories and reports that were not available in English. This helped her do her job better and gave her more confidence. Learning a new language can open doors to new information and knowledge that you cannot get otherwise. Another important reason to learn a language is travel. When you visit a new country and speak the local language, your experience is much richer. People usually appreciate it when visitors try to speak their language, even if it is only a few words. This can make your travel experience friendlier and safer. My friend David traveled to Italy and learned some Italian before his trip. He told me that when he spoke Italian at the market or restaurant, people smiled and helped him more. David said that learning the language made his trip more enjoyable and less stressful. He met many friendly locals and tried many delicious foods he would not have found otherwise. Learning a new language also helps in daily life. Sometimes you meet tourists or immigrants who do not speak your language well. If you know another language, you can help them or communicate better. This can create kindness and good relationships in your community. For example, my neighbor Emma learned Spanish because many people in her town speak Spanish. Emma said that she often helps new neighbors understand local rules or find places. She feels proud that she can make a difference in her community by speaking another language. It is also important to talk about the challenges in learning a new language. It can be difficult, and sometimes you may feel tired or frustrated, but every learner faces these problems, and the key is to keep going. Patience and practice are the most important tools. My friend John learned Russian, which is a hard language for many people. John said that at first he wanted to quit because the grammar was confusing and the words were long, but he kept studying little by little every day. After 6 months, John started to understand movies and books. He said that the secret is not to give up. If you continue, you will improve. Now, I want to share some tips that will help you in your language learning. Find something that interests you in the language. It can be cooking, history, or sports. This will make learning fun. Use simple and clear materials at the start. Don't try to learn everything at once. Start with basic words and sentences. Speak often, even if you feel shy. Try talking to yourself or a language partner. Speaking helps you remember words better. Listen to the language every day. This can be podcasts, news, or conversations. Listening trains your ear and improves understanding. Write short stories or diary entries in the language. Writing helps fix grammar and vocabulary in your mind. Use flashcards or apps to learn new words. Repeating words often helps you remember them longer. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Every mistake is a chance to learn. Keep practicing. Think in the new language. Describe your daily actions or objects around you in that language. I want to tell you more about my friend Rachel. Rachel learned Italian because she loves Italian food and culture. She started with simple phrases to order food and greet people. Rachel practiced every day by speaking with Italian friends and writing short texts. She said that learning Italian made her trips to Italy much more enjoyable and helped her feel more confident when traveling. She also said that learning a new language gave her a sense of achievement. Let's look at another story. My friend Kevin learned German to work with a new company in Germany. Kevin said that learning the language helped him understand the culture and customs better. He also said that speaking German at work made his colleagues respect him more. Kevin found that language learning helped him build stronger work relationships. Lastly, learning a new language teaches you new ways to express yourself. Every language has its own style and way of telling stories. By learning a new language, you learn new words and ideas that do not exist in your native language. This can make you a better speaker and writer in any language. My friend Sophie studied French and said that French has many beautiful expressions that helped her think and speak more clearly. She said that learning French also helped her write better poems and stories in English. Remember, learning a language is a journey, not a race. It takes time, patience, and practice, but the rewards are worth it. New friends, better career, stronger brain, and richer experiences. Now, let's explore even more reasons why learning a new language is so valuable and how it can help you in many parts of life. I will also share some more stories from friends and examples to keep you interested. One important reason is that learning a new language improves your communication skills. When you study a language, you learn how to express your ideas clearly and understand others better. This helps not only in the new language, but also in your native language. For example, my friend Paul studied German for a year. He told me that learning German grammar made him notice how sentences are built. This helped Paul write clearer emails and messages in English too. So, learning a language improves your overall communication. Let me tell you about my friend Lisa. Lisa learned Mandarin Chinese because she wants to work with international companies. She said that speaking Mandarin helped her listen carefully and understand different ways people express themselves. Lisa also said that learning a new language taught her patience and attention to detail. These skills helped her become a better listener and speaker in all languages. So, language learning helps you become a better communicator everywhere. Another great benefit is that learning a language opens your mind to new ways of thinking. Every language has its own way of explaining ideas, feelings, and the world. When you learn a new language, you learn a new way of looking at things. For example, my friend James studied Spanish and noticed that Spanish speakers use many expressions for emotions that are different from English. This helped James understand emotions better and express his feelings more clearly in English too. Think about my friend Emily. She learned Arabic and discovered that Arabic has many beautiful words that describe nature and friendship. Emily said that learning these words made her appreciate small things in life more. She feels that learning Arabic helped her think in a richer and deeper way. This shows how languages are not just words, but also new ways to see the world. Let's talk about friendships. Learning a new language helps you meet new people and build friendships around the world. When you speak someone's language, it creates a special connection. My friend Mark learned Italian because he wanted to visit Italy and make new friends. There, Mark said that speaking Italian helped him meet many local people who shared their stories and traditions with him. He feels that these friendships made his travel experience unforgettable. Another example is my friend Anna. Anna learned French because she wanted to connect with her husband's family in France. Speaking French helped her build a close relationship with them. Anna said that knowing the language made family gatherings more fun and helped her feel part of the family. This shows how language learning can strengthen personal relationships. Now, let's talk about education. Learning a new language gives you access to many books, articles, and courses in that language. This can help you learn new things that are not available in your native language. For example, my friend Kevin studied Japanese to read Japanese books about technology. Kevin said that learning Japanese gave him ideas and knowledge that helped him in his job. He feels that language learning helped him grow professionally and personally. My friend Sophie studied Russian to understand Russian literature and history. Sophie said that reading original Russian books helped her learn about Russia's culture and traditions. She said that this knowledge made her more interested in world history and helped her understand different people better. So, learning a language can open doors to new knowledge and culture. Another important point is that language learning helps you become more confident. When you start speaking a new language, you may feel nervous or shy. But every time you practice, you gain confidence. My friend David learned French and said that at first he was afraid to speak. But after practicing for a few months, he felt proud and confident. David said that this confidence helped him speak English better too, because he was not afraid to make mistakes. Also, learning a language teaches you discipline and good study habits. It takes regular practice and effort. My friend Rachel learned Spanish by studying every day for 30 minutes. Rachel said that this daily habit helped her improve quickly. She feels that learning a language helped her become more organized and focused in other parts of her life too. This shows that language learning builds strong personal skills. Let me share some practical advice that helped my friends and might help you. Set small goals. For example, learn 5 new words each day or have a short conversation once a week. Practice speaking as much as you can. Find a language partner or practice talking to yourself. Listen to the language daily. Try simple podcasts, news, or conversations. Write short notes, messages, or stories in the language. Writing helps. You remember grammar and vocabulary. Use apps or flashcards to review new words often. Be patient and kind to yourself. Learning a language is a journey with ups and downs. Try to think in the new language. Describe your day, your plans, or your surroundings in that language. Don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. My friend Michael learned Italian and said that following these tips helped him improve fast. Michael said that learning a language is like planting a tree. It grows slowly, but gives great results if you care for it every day. Finally, I want to say that learning a language connects you to the world in a special way. It helps you understand people better, improves your brain, opens new opportunities, and makes life more interesting. Remember, every step you take in learning a language is a step toward a better future. Keep going and enjoy the journey. Let's dive even deeper into why learning a new language is so important and how it can help you in your everyday life. I want to share more examples from real people and explain simple ways you can make language learning easier and more fun. One big reason to learn a new language is that it helps your brain stay healthy and active. Scientists say that when you learn a language, your brain builds new connections. This helps you think faster and remember things better. For example, my friend Sarah started learning French 2 years ago. She told me that since she started learning French, she feels her memory is sharper. She can remember names, dates, and new information more easily. Learning a language challenges your brain, like exercise challenges your muscles. The more you practice, the stronger your brain becomes. Another friend, John, learned Japanese because he loves the culture and wanted a new challenge. John said that after learning Japanese, he feels more focused and better at solving problems. This is because language learning requires you to pay attention to details like grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. These skills help in many areas of life, like work, school, and daily decisions. Learning a new language also makes traveling more enjoyable and less stressful. When you can speak the local language, even a little, people appreciate your effort. They are more friendly and helpful. My friend David traveled to Spain last year. He knew some Spanish and could order food, ask for directions, and greet people. David said that knowing Spanish made his trip more fun and relaxed. People smiled and talked with him more. Even simple phrases like thank you or please can make a big difference. My friend Emma traveled to Germany and learned basic German before her trip. She told me that speaking German helped her understand signs, schedules, and menus better. This made traveling easier and safer. Emma also said that learning German helped her make friends with local people. They were impressed that she tried to speak their language. This shows how language opens doors to new experiences and friendships. Now, let's think about work and career. Knowing more than one language is a big advantage in today's world. Many companies work with people from different countries. If you can speak another language, you can communicate with more clients, partners, or coworkers. This can lead to better jobs and higher salaries. For example, my friend Mark works for a company that sells products worldwide. He learned Chinese because many of his clients speak Chinese. Mark said that knowing the language helped him build trust with clients and close important deals. Another friend, Lucy, learned German because she wants to work in Europe. She said that learning German opened many job opportunities for her. Employers like candidates who can speak more than one language because it shows dedication and cultural understanding. Lucy also said that learning a language made her feel more confident in job interviews and meetings. Besides work, learning a language helps you understand the world better. Languages carry culture, history, and traditions. When you learn a new language, you also learn about the people who speak it. For example, my friend Alex studied Arabic to understand Middle Eastern culture better. He said that learning Arabic helped him appreciate the traditions, food, and festivals in those countries. Alex feels that knowing Arabic makes him more open-minded and respectful toward other cultures. My friend Rachel learned Italian and said that Italian culture is full of art, history, and family values. She said that learning the language helped her feel connected to this beautiful culture. Rachel also said that she enjoys Italian food more because she understands the stories behind the recipes. This shows how language learning enriches your life in many ways. Now, I want to share a story about my friend Tom. Tom started learning Spanish because he wanted to surprise his wife's family. Her family lives in Mexico and they speak Spanish at home. Tom learned basic Spanish to join family conversations and show respect. He said that his wife's family was very happy and impressed. Tom feels that learning Spanish helped him build a stronger relationship with them. This shows that learning a language can improve family connections and bring people closer. Let's also talk about how learning a language improves your listening skills. When you study a new language, you practice listening carefully to understand sounds and words. This practice helps you listen better in your own language too. My friend Olivia learned French and said that listening to French songs, news, and conversations helped her improve her English listening skills. She feels that she can understand different accents and faster speech more easily now. Listening practice also helps with writing skills. When you listen to stories or conversations, you learn new words and phrases. This makes your vocabulary bigger and helps you write better sentences. For example, my friend Daniel listens to English podcasts every day. He writes down interesting sentences and practices, using them in his own writing. Daniel said that listening helped him write emails, reports, and even short stories more clearly. To help you improve your listening and writing skills, here are some easy tips. Listen to short stories or conversations in the new language every day. Even 10 minutes helps. Write down new words or phrases you hear. Try to use them in sentences. Repeat what you hear out loud. This helps your speaking and memory. Practice writing short paragraphs about your day or your thoughts using new words. Use language learning apps that have listening and writing exercises. Join language groups online or in your community to practice speaking and listening. My friend James uses these tips and said that practicing every day helped him improve a lot. He said that learning a language is a step-by-step process, and small, daily efforts make a big difference. Finally, remember that learning a language is not only about speaking and writing. It also teaches you patience, discipline, and respect for others. It helps you understand different ways people live and think. This makes you a better person and a better global citizen. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the English Pod Community with me, Blake. I hope these stories and tips inspired you to keep learning new languages and improving your listening and writing skills. Remember, every small step counts, and practice every day will bring you closer to your goals. If you enjoyed this episode, please press the like button and share it with your friends who want to improve their English. Don't forget to subscribe to the English Pod Community, where we upload new videos every day to help you become a better English speaker and listener. Keep learning, stay motivated, and I'll see you in the next episode.